we kind of wanted to recap today some of the Premier League seasons so far. We're halfway through. Been quite a crazy season. A lot of different things happening, Dad. And I think there's some storylines that we really need to look into here in terms of clubs shocking us, players shocking us. But Dad, what have you kind of noticed this season? What's been different for you?
Well, I'll tell you about the last 3 weeks, I've watched so much soccer, it's not even funny, and I gotta be honest, in my head, I'm calling it the big blur because
Yeah.
so many games, so many different storylines, and honestly, it's a little hard to keep track of all of it. I mean, I say that in a good way. Obviously, I'm most focused on Arsenal and City and Liverpool and Villa and all this stuff, but just so much soccer. I'm a little
Just
worn
back to
out.
back to back all the
Yeah,
time.
I'm a little worn out, but of course, big game tomorrow, Arsenal versus Chelsea. Excuse me, Arsenal versus Liverpool. So I don't care how tired I am as a fan. I got to get ready to watch that big game tomorrow.
Gotta support. Gotta support. Absolutely, Dad. And I think, that's definitely one of the bigger shocks of the season. Liverpool not being what everyone thought they were going to be, especially with the signings they made. Only, I think, in fourth or fifth right now in the table. And, I've definitely clawed back. But I
Yeah.
believe, they're 8 points behind Villa in third, if I'm not mistaken. So, the title race is a lot different than we maybe thought it was going to be, with Villa involved, with City, of course, still there, but Arsenal really holding strong right now, can make it an 8-point gap tomorrow. But Dad, I think this season right now has almost been more about the mid-table, because I think from fourth to 10th, it's about a 4-point gap right now,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is like the championship. I mean, it's crazy to see, don't you think?
It's awesome. I mean, it is crazy. I did not see it coming to that extent. I mean, obviously, the teams in the relegation zone are in big, big, big trouble. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, for most of the rest of the table, it's exciting. And I'll tell you what, a lot of those teams in that part of the table, they're giving the top clubs good battles, right?
Yeah.
Couple of big draws today. Both City and Villa, I think, drew today.
Yep.
And I don't think there's anything about luck involved in there, or, oh, well, City has some key injuries. It's unlucky. That may be part of it, but I think we would be remiss in not giving those mid table teams a hell of a lot of credit for what they're doing this season.
I mean, absolutely. I'm pretty sure Sunderland have the best home record besides Arsenal, which is something crazy to say. They've played teams like City and Liverpool and Arsenal at home already. I'm pretty sure they haven't lost any of them at home, which
It's
is
impressive.
extremely impressive for a newly promoted team. But they're not the only one, Dad. And I know there's some teams that have kind of flip-flopped around, and one I wanted to bring up, Dad, that I think's been really, really shocking is Tottenham Hotspur. We love to make fun of them, because they're our rivals, and we like to see them do poorly. But I don't think anyone was anticipating them being this poor and honestly not enjoyable to watch. Like, they are one of the most boring teams, I think, in the league right now. I'd prefer watching some of the teams below them, like Leeds and Nottingham Forest, over them
Yeah.
with their
Yeah.
style of play. I think it goes to show maybe Thomas Frank hasn't worked out exactly how they wanted, Dad. I don't know if you have an opinion on it, but I just think something's not clicking there, and there's not that offensive drive and exciting football that you'd maybe expect from them.
Well, I mean, I think they were this way last season. I would not say they were particularly exciting or particularly good in the Premier League last year. So for me, one season you can write off. It appears to be a similar season in the making now.
Mhm.
And if I was a Tottenham fan, I'd be concerned, right? I know they won some hardware and they hold it over our head and whatever, but the reality is we're talking Premier League, and yeah, poor results and the boring style of soccer, and I mean, I usually would watch Tottenham just because of who they were in the past, even when they weren't playing Arsenal. And now I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, no thanks. I'm good. I'm not entertained. And that is a bad sign. I mean, obviously, no son. You know, I know he's older, but he still brought excitement. But I guess you saw that disappearing last year. Well, it's really gone this year. So they're in some trouble, my man. This is
Yeah.
not good.
No, and I agree with you. I think their defense looks a little bit better, kind of to your point, Dad. But I guess going back to what you were saying, they used to be a team you want to put on the TV, but now it's almost you're putting them on the TV because you're more interested in seeing what the other team's going to do to them than what they're doing. Almost, they're just
Act.
not creating, and it's kind of crazy to think because they brought in Mohamed Kudus and some young attackers like Kolo Muani and these other guys up top, and Richarlison has had a decent season, but it just doesn't click. And maybe this is proving, Dad, how important James Madison is to them. He's
Yeah,
obviously out this year with an ACL.
yeah.
Uh, Kulusevski hasn't played, I don't think at all maybe this season, and he's one of their most influential players. I mean, maybe it's showing their impact on the team more than anything else, rather than it being Thomas Frank. Or do you think it's a mixture of both?
You know, as is typical, I think it's a bit of a mixture of both. Can I just say something for a second?
Yeah,
I just Richarlison rubs me the wrong way. You know, when he was Everton, he rubbed me the wrong way. Like, there's just some, you know. And listen, he may be the nicest guy on the planet. I don't know, but watching him on the field, I just kind of want to slap him. I don't know what it is. I would love the chance to meet the guy, or maybe I should find an interview. But there's something about his way that just drives me nuts. Do you know what I'm talking about at all? Like, is it just me?
I think he's just like a wind-up merchant, Dad. He loves getting in the opposition's face, kind of being like a prick. I don't know it's like the best word for it, but he likes kind of being annoying, I think. And I think he's also a little bit he's a little bit cringe, to be, I guess, up to date. He's kind of cringy. Like he's that guy that's always taking his shirt off when he gets an equalizer or maybe a winner, but then the other team scores. I think he's done it twice or three times now. Which is just like it just yeah, to your point, it rubs you the wrong way of like this guy is just like not likable as much on the field. And maybe that's just I mean, we're Arsenal fans. It's hard. I don't want to be biased, but I think Spurs from an outside perspective, most people don't recognize them, you know, as a threat right now at least. And they're just not enjoyable or exciting. Like, I think there's people that would rather watch Bournemouth, that would rather watch Brentford play, that would rather watch Everton play, that would rather watch Sunderland. I could go through a lot of teams I think
Yeah.
people would rather watch right now. Even Spurs own fans. I literally saw a chant today, Dad, where they were chanting sideways or backwards everywhere we go, insinuating that they never pass the ball forward. Um, but
Yeah.
Dad, do you think Thomas Frank is maybe the next manager on the way out, or do you think they're going to ride it out and try and give him time?
Well, I mean, gosh, we've talked a bit about this before. The quick hook that some of these clubs have with managers. I mean, how long was Nancy at Celtic? 8 matches. That was it. And
Yeah,
right.
like no
Obviously,
time to implement his no none of his own players, no time to implement his tactics. Like it's not really fair. Like these guys do get paid a lot of money and very well, but it's not really fair to them to not give them at least a little bit of time. I understand you need results, but
I think that with Thomas Frank, I mean, what there's essentially half the season left, just under
yeah,
half the season. I mean, give the guy more time. I think that, like you said, Madison's out. I mean, things aren't perfect. It wasn't like they were perfect last year. Let the guy finish out the season. And if at that point, I mean, Tottenham, thanks to the teams in the bottom three, Burnley, West Ham, and Wolves, Tottenham is not gonna get relegated this season.
Yeah.
So let the guy roll it out, see if there's any way that he turns it around even a little bit, shows promise, and then if not, sure, go ahead, get rid of it at the end of the season. But I mean, man, the turnover to me is the cycle is just spinning faster and faster and faster.
Yeah, and I think you're right, Dad. Give them time. Maybe they win a cup somehow. You know, they won something last year
They
and
did.
fired the guy, but they won something last year, and they're only 7 points off Champions League still. There's half of the season left. A lot can change
Yep.
in half the season, wherever you're at on the table. So nothing's over, I think is the biggest point, Dad. But there's been some shocks, I think, on the top of the table as well, um, especially by some smaller teams, right?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of already alluded to those mid-table teams, things like that. But in my mind, the teams that sort of stand out, these smaller clubs, uh, punching above their weight, as you put it here in the script, um, are Brentford and Sunderland. Now, Sunderland is fading just a little bit, sort of slowly, you know, I still think
Yep.
they finished the top half of the
Only
table.
4 points off Champions League as well. They're right there.
Right. But I mean, these are not top 6 clubs as we all know, and, they're impressive. I mean, there's probably about 8 to 10 teams that are performing better than I thought. But for me, these 2 teams really stand out. Sunderland obviously put up a hell of a fight against Arsenal. And so I think it's fun to watch. I love watching Granit Xhaka playing for Sunderland. It's exciting. Once again, former Gunner, I get it. But to come back and sort of, this is what his third team in the last 5, 6 years, showing that, listen, he can do it wherever he goes. And so if
Yeah.
you've got a true leader, a good midfielder like that in the Premier League, they're showing that you can hang around.
You can make a
What are your
difference.
thoughts on those clubs?
I mean, I love both of them, Dad, but what I do have to say, who I love even more in that Sunderland team, who scored the equalizer against Arsenal, is Brian Brubby up top. The absolutely jacked unit that they usually have start or bring on
Yeah.
from Ajax, Dutch player. There's a funny picture of him when I think he's 16 or 17, playing against kids his age, and he is just hulking over these dudes. Like, he is a physical specimen, and even at the weekend scored it just I think today actually scored a rocket, or yeah, it was the weekend, scored a rocket against Spurs. Like, literally almost tore the net off with his shot.
Yeah.
I think it's what we thought Gyökeres was gonna be at Arsenal, more kind of a physically dominant player. Like, I see that in him. He's got the drive, he's got the tenacity. Brian Brubby is just an absolute beast. So love watching him, Dad. But I think Brentford has got to be the most polarizing team this year, because no one at the beginning of the season thought they were going to do anything. I mean, it's Thomas Frank's set piece coach who's now in charge, and
Yeah.
he's leading them to a season that Thomas Frank, I don't think, ever had them around this point.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Frank left a little too early, or he thought he was going to, greener pastures and, not so at up to this point. But yeah, I mean, a club like Brentford, did you go to a game at Brentford when
Yeah,
you
the
were there?
G Tech, the G
Yeah,
Tech.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yep,
and
I was
didn't like one of
there.
your bosses, wasn't he a Brentford fan or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a cool new stadium, obviously new for them as well, and it seems like the fans love it. It's just such an interesting club because it's also in London. Doesn't really get attention like a London club, but they're showing out this season like a London club. I mean, just ridiculous. They have the second top goal scorer in the Premier League with Igor Thiago. And there's so many exciting players. Kevin Shada, another exciting player for them. Kelleher in goal, former Liverpool player, looks fantastic. They're like Brighton. It seems like Brentford always finds a way. There's those teams in the league right now.
Yeah.
They
Well,
always find a way.
yeah, wait, who did Brighton play today? Would they play City?
They played City and they drew, right?
Was that the Amex or was that at the Etihad?
I
Can't
think it was at
remember.
the Amex today. I think it
Yeah.
was.
And that, like, that's awesome. Like, I love, you mentioned earlier, watching Tottenham in the last couple of years, no thank you. But I will happily, when Arsenal's not playing, I will happily turn on any game, really. But I like, yeah, I want to watch Brentford. I want to watch Brighton. I want to watch Sunderland, right? These are fun teams to watch. And that's good for soccer and it's good for the Premier League, right? You can't just have the top six, and I know more people pay attention, but if you can make it exciting, and no, Brentford's not going to win the Premier League and so on and so forth, but they're going to make games more exciting across the board. And if the Premier League is going to continue to grow above and beyond its sort of current fan base in the US, if you really want to start drawing in sort of non-soccer or people who are new to soccer, you better have more teams who are going to entertain you and compete. And I think the Premier League really has that more this year, for in my mind, than they've had in a long time.
Absolutely, and I think we're only going to keep seeing that, Dad. These teams keep bringing more money, keep doing their thing. It's exciting to watch. I mean, I watched Newcastle Leeds a little bit today. Thrilling game. Might have been one of the games of the season. Newcastle ended up winning it. The latest ever winner in the Premier League, 101 minutes into the game, by
Jeez.
Harvey Barnes. And just what a like that's an ad for the Premier League right there. That's what people want to see, is those intense games, and an American scoring twice in Brendan Aronson. Great to see him playing well. But Dad, I think we're hoping to see more surprises the rest of the season. I'm sure we have more in store.